The Glycerin Max series are really expensive, so is it worth spending your money on getting a new Glycerin Max 2, or should you try and catch the original Glycerin Max while it's on discount and still in stock? Well, there are 5 key differences between the new and the old model. I'm going to break them down for you so you have a better idea of which shoe works for you, and after that I'm going to provide some alternatives for you if you're unsure if it's worth spending the money on these shoes. So if we look first of all at the weight of these shoes, well, the Glycerin Max 2 is a lot heavier than its predecessor, coming in at 378 grams in a size 12 US, while the original came in at 352 grams, so that's a 26-gram increase in the new Glycerin Max. And while they've kept the stack and the drop the exact same, they've completely overhauled the upper. So while the Glycerin Max was one of my favorite shoes of the last year, I didn't really enjoy the upper on this as it had quite a thick plush upper. Well, they've really streamlined the upper to make it lighter, more breathable, more of a stretchy material on the Glycerin Max 2. It's got a slightly thinner tongue, which was an issue on the original Glycerin Max, and it's got a very similar heel cup and the amount of padding around it. So very similar fit, true to size and length and a normal width. But then we really see the changes as we move down to the cushioning on the shoe. So they've maintained the DNA tuned nitrogen infused cushioning, but it feels completely different underfoot. And there's 2 main reasons for that. One is they've altered the geometry of the shoe. So one of the best features of the Glycerin Max was that it had an excellent late stage 4-foot rocker that really felt like it sprung you forward. Well, they've made an earlier rocker in the Glycerin Max 2, and they've changed the heel bevel as well, so it just doesn't transition as nicely or as smoothly from the back to the front of the shoe after you make contact with the ground. That's whether you're heel striking or you hit in the center of the shoe. They've made the platform wider underneath the shoe as well, both in the heel, midfoot and forefoot, so it's a wider shoe overall, and therefore the cushioning feels a lot firmer. It's not responsive, but the result of that is it's much more stable underfoot than what we got in the Glycerin Max. So if you run to the shoe that's really responsive for a max stack shoe, you're not getting that anymore. However, if you avoided it because you wanted a max stack that was more stable, well then you've got that option in the Glycerin Max 2. And that can seem slightly counterintuitive because they've removed the large sidewalls from the outside and inside of the original Glycerin Max, so it's completely streamlined look on the Glycerin Max 2. So when it comes to performance, the Glycerin Max was one of the more unique shoes on the market because it was a max stack shoe. It wasn't overly heavy, certainly didn't feel that way, and you could use it for some more up-tempo workouts. Well, that's not the case in the Glycerin Max 2. It's now more of a max stack stable shoe, a firmer ride, less responsive, very much an easy run, recovery run up to marathon pace shoe. Definitely not for those up-tempo workouts. The geometry and the firmness of the shoe have just changed that completely. So if you're looking for some alternatives on the market, well, for max stack, more aggressive geometry, you might look towards the Asics Gel Nimbus 27. If you're looking towards a slightly cheaper, more recovery-focused shoe, then you might look towards the Hoka 99 or the New Balance 1080 V14. However, let me know your thoughts in the comment section on these changes. Are you a fan of the more stable ride in the Glycerin Max 2, or do you want the original Glycerin Max to come back? In my opinion, what they should do is go back to the original cushioning and geometry, make the shoe a little bit lighter but keep the upper. Let me know your thoughts, and if you found the video helpful or interesting, like and share and subscribing makes a massive difference in the channel.